Okay. I think we're live right now.
Yep.
So, hi, we're here again for the Healer Village event. We're on the first of the interviews. So, Spring into Health, we've got talks and tips, we've got the group panel discussions, and mini healings on enhancing vitality. And today we've got lovely Stephanie Rae Pritchard. So, she is a psychic medium, an author, a healer. And she's talking about spiritual healing and also the role of it in emotional healing of the emotional self, so that, and also vitality, so that you can be bringing that back into your life. There's also going to be talk about the rainbow, the circle healing map, right?
Yes, rainbow circle healing map.
Rainbow circle healing map. So we'll talk about that later, but first let's go into talking a little bit about spiritual healing. So if anyone who doesn't understand what it is, they can get up to speed. Yeah, from your perspective, your experience, what is spiritual healing?
So spiritual healing is using universal consciousness energy to heal another person. So that can be on the physical plane, emotional plane, mental plane, and the spiritual plane as well.
Okay. And then the emotions, then what kind of emotions have you seen it benefit from when you using?
So I've seen it benefit from grief in particular. I've had miscarriage, and I sent them healing for that person. I sent them a healing, and they said that the feelings that they get now about the miscarriage have changed. They have shifted. Yeah, so that's been a major part of what I do to shift grief. Grief of passed over loved ones as well. That has helped as well.
And also, like, you're a medium, right? So I think that, like, I've personally had that experience. I've had a session with you, and when my dad passed, I found it was really healing to be able to communicate. So there's like, you've got the
It's frozen. But yes, I have the two sides, both the mediumship side and the healing side. I think that's what you're going to say. So yeah, certainly can heal a person through communicating with their passed over loved ones, and also through spiritual healing as well.
Yeah, passed over. I think my internet went a bit out, but
yes,
maybe yours was fine and it's still live streaming and all that. So yeah, so they communicating to passed over loved ones, very healing. And I was surprised by that, because I've done a lot of healing, and when I had that experience, I was like, oh, this is actually healing. It's not just something to just check something or talk about a closure that happens with that. And then also definitely the rainbow mapping methods you've been using as well with grief, even miscarriage is grief on some level, isn't it, as well? Yeah, beautiful. And then how does that, well, I know the answer. Oh, I think I know the answer, but I'd like to hear your answer. How does it help with vitality?
So it helps with vitality because there's a shift in energy. So there's an upliftment of energy. And I've had a lot of people say they feel uplifted after a spiritual healing session. So yeah, that's the main way. Yeah.
And then when you talk about universal consciousness, in what ways do you tap into that? Like, is it, I know that you work with angels, but are there other
I work with angels and the ascended masters, and I also work with my own spirit guides as well. So they're a team of, I call them the God ministry. I don't know if that's but that's what they say when I'm doing automatic writing. So it's a very high vibrational energy, and shifts blocks and shifts blocks in the spiritual energy field.
Okay, yeah, I could see how working with, like, helping grief, because grief's a very heavy energy, right? Like when you're feeling grieving, like you feel really heavy, and so bringing that counter with like a light, really refined spiritual energy or universal energy can help with bringing that balance on like an energetic level as well. And then people are feeling more uplifted. So yeah, definitely vitality. Yeah. So you've been working with the mapping methods.
Yes.
I was thinking, should we show the map, or is that easier? Or, what
Yeah.
are the rainbow mapping methods first? And maybe we'll show the map so that people have like a context.
Yeah, so the rainbow mapping methods are methods that I've channeled from my spiritual guidance team, and they are a series of ways to tap into the auras and chakras, but particularly the chakras. And today I'm going to talk mainly about the Rainbow Circle Healing Map, because that's what I'm offering at the end of this interview.
Yep.
So the Rainbow Circle Healing Map is a way to map the chakras and to map the chakra blockages in the spiritual energy field for the person. And as well as that, I get the reasons behind why that particular chakra is blocked. So that's what I do with that.
Yeah, and that's like through guidance, or does your guides talk to their guides? And there's
well, I guess it is my guides talking to their guides.
They're having a communication.
Connected. So it is that's how it works, I guess. And I get specific information about what's going on for that person, and everybody's different. So yeah.
Does that come, do the angels and ascended masters come in with that, or is that a more separate thing?
That's a separate thing. I can do messages from the archangels, and that is like automatic writing from the archangels as well.
Oh, I see. And so then with the Rainbow Circle Healing Map, is that more channeling energy then? If it's not working with the
it's healing energy and channeling at the same time. So I guess I channel the information and then I do the healing at the end, which can involve the archangels, because I tune into the crown chakra, which is where I usually see the presence of guides and angels there.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay. All right. So maybe we'll give a context, and I'll just share. So we've got the map, and so you use this map then. I hope this works. Yeah, should be working. So you use this map then as a context while you're doing the session?
Yeah, so I use this map to map out the blockages and stuff like that. So you can see I have the different chakras, starting at the crown chakra, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral and root chakra. And then I look in the different planes. So there's the physical plane, the emotional plane, the mental plane, and the spiritual plane. And the earth star is there to check the grounding of the person.
Oh, okay, so the earth star's down, below the feet.
Yeah.
Is that where? Okay, cool. And then so when people are coming for this session, what kind of things were really benefiting them, or what kind of issues did they come with? And maybe there's a few stories that you've got that.
Yeah, there's a whole range of issues that people have come. The other day, a lady come for headaches. So physical issues as well, and then I get emotional issues, so grief, divorce, things like that.
So do you find like when people have like a big event in their life where it's emotionally disruptive, you find that like certain patterns of chakras come up, or it's different for each person?
Well, usually if it's grief, it's the heart chakra that's blocked, and usually the solar plexus is blocked as well, because that's linked in with their confidence, and usually that's been knocked. But a lot of people have throat chakra blocked as well. They find it hard to communicate with the partner or the passed over loved one, or whoever it may be.
Interesting, very interesting. And so there's certain patterns, and then do you see, well, I guess you would see, if they come with a physical problem, there'd be stuff in the physical plane, obviously, and maybe somewhere else. And then if they come with emotion, it'll be more that, and then something else, and you get different combinations.
Yes, that's right.
And then do you like write it out or you speak it out and do it in the session? Like, how does it?
Yeah, so I was using this healing map to do my spiritual healing remotely. But I am now doing the sessions via Zoom, and I just talk to the person as the session unfolds, and then at the end of the session I send them a picture of the rainbow circle healing map so that they can understand the issues and the blockages that we've helped to clear during the session.
Yeah, and then with the Earth Star, I'm curious with that one, do you see certain situations in people's lives where that would be unbalanced or blocked? You talk about it being blocked.
I don't know specifically about that, but certainly with some people I feel ungrounded and have to ground the spiritual energy field, but I can't think of specific examples of that at the moment.
Okay, that's all right, cool. And then so do you find that when they get the grounding that they can either feel more relaxed, or that they can start channeling or feel more connected with their intuition or something like that? What do you see?
I think that the person feels more present in their day, and I haven't really got any feedback on that either. I guess that's something to look into.
Yeah, it's curious, because it's not, I have seen it around, it does get used, but it's not as popular as the other chakras. So yeah, it was like very interesting. I love that you've brought that in with the whole group of chakras.
Yeah.
So I will stop share this because maybe it's nicer to see our faces. But so then let's see what else. So we talked about the type of clients that book in. Usually they feel uplifted, right? Is there any other interesting stories, or maybe you do it for yourself because we will often use our own modalities, like how do you feel after you have a session? Or
after a session I feel uplifted, and I feel it usually for a few days I feel that energy, so it's really good. So obviously the more in tune people are, the more that they can feel that. Like if you're less in tune with that spiritual energy, maybe you just feel generally uplifted emotionally, and then if you're more in tune, you can feel something. I remember, I'm not sure if we did that one together, but we did another one, and it was like I remember I was walking in Coles and I could feel this very refined energy, like I was connected to that, and it was influencing in a very beneficial way, just my general mentality, well-being. As I was going through, I noticed a very different view of everyday life, because you just go to Coles and you just buy, but then you could feel this well, I guess you could say it's vibrancy, vitality, but it was very subtle. It's not like this high energy thing that maybe some people think of vitality. It's like a really subtle feeling, and maybe being held, maybe that's a very good way, like you're being held by something beyond. I don't know if you have similar experience or you've heard people say things like that. I have had good feedback actually. One lady said she was able to sing now. She wasn't able to sing before she received the healing, so obviously unblocked the throat chakra, so she was happy with that. I've certainly had people say they feel uplifted, and they feel calmer is another way, so it can go both ways.
Definitely. Like, so with that emotional, feeling more uplifted emotions, feeling calmer, versus, well, I guess you talk mostly about grief, but there'd be other emotions as well that are creating imbalances. Do you find that if you have very heavy emotional charge, that you find that the chakras get really affected by that?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, grief is usually held in the heart chakra, and it's quite heavy and tight. So if it's blocked, it's like a tightness. If it's unblocked, it's a lightness. So usually after unblocking their heart chakra, you feel the heart chakra open. So that is quite a lightness feeling, very much in contrast to feeling the blocked energy.
Yeah, definitely. So when you're doing it, when you're offering that for people, you feel it inside yourself.
Yes.
And then use that as a reference tool to pass that information over.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
right.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And then I guess you're channeling as well. So you're getting messages as well and
Yes.
using them concurrently. And then does the healing happen at the same time, or is it happening at the very end? Like you get the information and then
Well, that's an interesting
channel?
question, because it used to happen at the very end, but the last few times I've done the healing sessions for people, it's happening during the session, which actually makes it more difficult, because I go back to try to check the whole energy field and it's clear, because I'm doing the healing at the
Oh,
same
okay.
time.
Interesting.
So
Okay. Interesting.
yeah, it's shifting, and I am healing as I'm reading at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that could be that could work with more deeper things, because you're getting like a whole layer and then you come back and then you're able to see something a little bit deeper. Whereas if you're just, so maybe it's a more fast tracking, I guess, if you want to use that word, for getting deeper in the session time. Well, that's really interesting. All right. So yeah, is there any tip or something you want to offer or share to people, if they're working with spiritual energy perhaps, or working with their emotions, that they could use to enhance their vitality?
The most important thing I want to talk about is consistency. You can't just have a healing once and think everything's shifted. Things change, and everyday blockages happen. So I would suggest keeping spiritual healing going once a week or once a fortnight if you can, because it's helpful to keep your spiritual energy field clear, and it gives you the best chance to get insights that you can from your spiritual energy field. It keeps you more present in your day, and it really is the best way to be, as far as I'm concerned, to have a clear spiritual energy field and go about your life.
Yeah, I mean, like we have a shower every day, so it maybe they didn't in the dark, like I don't know, it's dark ages, the old times, they didn't do that, but we understand, like with hygiene and things like that, having regular showers. You don't just have one shower and expect yourself to be clean for the next 10 years. It's the same thing, but on a different level, right? It's like, and I agree, I find that myself, if I am not processing things, life, and some, like, if you have a big event, yes, you can see the immediate, but if you have small little events, this compounding happens that you don't realize, and suddenly decisions are harder to make, things don't flow as much, and then to do it, you have to get through all the layers again. And so I agree with that. I find that if you keep it up, everything is a lot easier, and if you do have a big event, you're actually more prepared, because you've got that general foundation already clear. What kind of, I'm just curious now, like what kind of things do you do on a regular basis for yourself, or what kind of practices have really worked for you?
For myself, I use YouTube, and I do chakra clearings every day. I use Jason Stevenson. He's got a very deep voice, and I like the honest guys as well. And I also do meditations by a lady called Lisa Beachy, which are usually around the angels. So that gives me, my own time to tap into the angels and have a chat, I guess. I can do it without the meditation, but I prefer for myself to do it with the meditation. It's more fun.
Yeah, and it's nice to be supported instead of, and also I find doing variety is, I don't know why it's important for me. Maybe it's not important for other people, but having that variety keeps it all fresh. Whereas if I just did the same thing and one thing only, I think I'd
get bored.
Maybe I get bored, don't give it as much presence, maybe. Having that variety is good. Okay, they're great tips. People can check those out. Also, I think you've got some on your YouTube as well, like you've got some recordings and things like that. They could check you out as well. So how I guess the obvious question is, how can people find you then?
So people can find me on Facebook, Stephanie Rae Pritchard, spiritual mentor, medium and healer. They can find me on Instagram as well, the same name, Stephanie Rae Pritchard, spiritual mentor. I'm also available on YouTube, and I have my own website, which is www.stephanieraypritchard.com.
And if you Google, I've tried, she comes up in the first, which is easy. So you're off so the Rainbow Circle Healing Map, right? We just saw what the framework was and what you use. Yeah. Oh, so it's a one-to-one session, right? Give us some details about it.
Yeah, so it's a one-to-one session via Zoom, and we get on Zoom, and I say to you, what are your 2 favorite colors? And we pick those 2 colors, and then one pencil is for yes, the other pencil is for no, and then we go about doing the Rainbow Circle Healing Map. And as I said, I send you a picture of that map at the end of the session. So the cost of the session is 44 Australian dollars, and it takes about 20 to 30 minutes to do.
Okay, nice. And then they can, we will put the link in the comments or in the header or footer, wherever this is going. But yeah, so you could go to stephanieraepritchard.as.me/Rainbow Circle Healing, and we'll put that link in so it's easy for people, because nobody really wants to type into the URL anymore. But yeah, awesome. All right, so I think that's all. Is there any last things that want to be shared? Or does that feel complete?
I just want to say, just as I was saying, clearing your spiritual energy field is very important. And, the more regularly you do it, the better it is, like having a shower, I guess. And, yeah, keeping it up keeps you in a place of positivity, peace, love, and joy. And so that's where I think, everyone should be.
Well, the world, I mean, a much more peaceful place if everybody was happier, basically. Yeah. And also less miscommunications and things like that happen, because everyone's in that. I had something, was it this morning? I don't know. My husband, I said something and he goes, "Oh, did you mean this?" And he got like upset. Well, not really upset, because but he said something and I was like, I didn't say that. But there was an assumption as well. I'm probably grumpy in the morning, but yeah, when you're in a good place, you don't make those assumptions. You actually are present to the communication. So
yeah, that's right.
And also, I guess you're present to healing, because it's not like you're the only one who can tap into the angels. We can all do that, and with training, you've got some trainings that you teach people how to do that, which people can find on your website. So yeah, and everyone can learn to do that because it's all available to us. So
that's right.
Yeah, we should make use of it. So beautiful. Thank you, Steph. Just a quick one. So yeah, we've got more interviews coming up for the Spring into Health. We've got Nourishing Intuitive Vitality tomorrow, Boosting Vitality Voice on Saturday, and there's a few more. So yeah, check those out, ask questions, and everybody will, like the healers and the practitioners, will come back and comment. So if you have questions for Steph on this one, comment below and she'll come back and answer anything. Or maybe you have some comments and you want to have a discourse. I'm sure Steph will be around to add any value to you. All right, beautiful. Thanks so much. Thanks, everybody. See you later.